I'm going. Where am I going? What's happening?
Uh, I don't want to carry over points too much from last episode, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Um,
Do it. It was
we were
great.
talking about how like sex is taught and shown in media to and about women versus men differently. And I was just thinking about like all of the scenes in movies where the parents find out the daughter is sleeping around, or like just like she started sleeping with her boyfriend or whatever. And I've never seen a scene like that where it was parents yelling at the son. And the closest thing I can think of to the similar type of lecture is if the son was doing drugs.
Well, actually, I don't remember a specific scene, but I there is one situation in which the son would get scolded for it, and as if he got the girl pregnant. So if it wasn't safe sex,
Oh,
then it would have been like, "What is wrong with you? Why would you do that?"
yeah. So only when things go really wrong.
Yeah, only when it's like worst case scenario stuff happens, where it's like you got an STD, you gave someone an STD, you got a girl pregnant.
Mm.
That or they're gay.
Mm. Oh yeah. It's a big no-no. You can sleep around with whoever you want as long as it's not men.
Yeah.
I guess sleeping with men in general is kind of seen as a bad thing, huh?
Yeah, sleeping with women in general isn't not exactly praised, but it's always like, yeah, you know,
Yeah. Crazy.
yeah. Which is, funnily enough, there's a scene in American Pie 2 where they kind of cover that topic. Oh, are we gonna have Earth changed? Yes, we are.
Woo!
We're not gonna. I don't think we'll be able to see it this episode, but next time we do this, we should see it. And it's a really pretty
Yay.
dress too. It's awesome. Um, what was I saying? Right. So there's a scene where they find out there's these two lesbian girls living in this house they're cleaning up,
Yeah.
and they like break in the house and they find like a weird dildo thing or whatever, and they start like, oh my gosh, they're lesbians. And then they catch them after when they're like, and then they catch them after they were like in their like swimwear, trying stuff on, and they're like, we'll what was it? We'll smack each other's butts if you'll smack your butts like to each other, you know. And they like,
Yeah.
and every time they like up the antics, they look at each other and they weigh the options of like how gay are we willing to go, you know. And then it gets to a point of like, yeah, I'll lick her vagina if you suck his dick. And then
Oh
like one of
gosh.
them just like, all right, anything for this. And then he like starts taking down his pants, and then now the boys run out because they don't want to suck him.
I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah, so now it's just side quests, so we can talk about whatever.
Shut it up. Yeah. No, that's interesting. I don't. Hmm. I will say though, to put some more. We've been talking about more bad stuff towards women. In I don't. Whenever you see like a coming out as gay from like it's a girl to her parents versus it's a guy, it usually goes a lot better when it's a girl.
Yeah. Well, I think that
From what I've
comes
seen.
with. I think that just comes with because it waves off dangers of sex, kind of. It makes you think that a lot of the dangers of sex go away from that. Because
Oh.
if you have sex with a woman, like I'm sure STDs aren't as easy to get. You can't get pregnant from that. I'm sure the idea is that you can't you can't get sexually assaulted anymore from that because it's like, oh, I'm a
Yeah,
lesbian, I don't like penises, and like, oh, okay, that's not
man.
how it works, but that's how someone could
Yeah,
perceive
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, yeah.
Whereas with a
That's
man,
interesting.
it's different, where it's like, oh, well, now you're gonna get AIDS. Do you like it in the butt? That's weird, you know. And
Wow.
you can
Yeah, no, you're
still,
so right.
yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Dance battle.
It's not. We're squatting.
Oh, sure, whatever. You're telling me they're not dancing.
Are you?
Shake it, Cloud. Um, yeah. No. How do you feel about, um, how do you feel about men coming out as queer being such a bad thing? Still thinking about everything you said.
I mean, I don't think it's
Versus
bad.
women. No, I mean in media, like versus how it's not as seen as bad for women, even in real life. Like I think that women who come out are way less likely to like get kicked out or anything like that, which could still very well be like the safety issue thing.
Oh. Well. Well, okay. Here's the other thing too, right? It's also much more likely just to be seen as, oh, that's a phase for women. Like, if for a woman, I think it's much more likely for it to be seen as like, oh, that's just you're just curious phase, you know. Whereas with men, it's seen as a much more definitive, like, oh, you're gay, you'll always be gay. It's so easy to be classified as gay as a man. Whereas for women, it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, because like as a woman, like even if you're not lesbian, you're already seen because you're more feminine. You're already seen in a more like gay light, anyways, because like homosexuality is seen as a feminine thing a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so when it's like why there's those jokes where it's like, my sister when she kisses her friends on the lip, and it's like a bunch of girls just laughing it off, and then it's like me when I kiss my homies on the lips, and it's a bunch of like dark figures in a corner, like with bright red eyes or something. I don't know, something funny like that.
Yeah.
But like, it's
Yeah.
easy to brush something off a girl does as, oh, well, that's not very gay. And then when it's like, I am gay, it's like, okay, I guess you're gay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's always just been seen as easier to accept a woman being gay because it feels more, sounds wrong, but it feels more right because of how
Yeah.
gay is seen in general.
hmm No, yeah, I think that's definitely, it could definitely be very well. Man, the world is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy how different things are so wrong just by different genders, and how, depending on what you are, who you are, what you look like you're just immediately assumed stuff about you.
Yeah.
Stereotypes, sexism, and racism, and all that fun stuff, man.
It's all, and like, here's the other thing too, right? This is a little bit off topic, but I will never let my kids watch like male comedy movies until they are like 18 or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they do, like with women especially, they sexualize a lot of what women do in those movies.
Oh yeah.
Like they'll show a woman in a bathing suit, it's like, oh, nice, and it's like, I don't want my kids to look at a girl in a bathing suit and think that's sexy, you know?
Yeah, and immediately like objectified.
Exactly. Because, like, I mean, it wasn't like I grew up like that. Ow. I just bit my lip. It's not like I see things like that, but there was definitely movies I saw. This is the other thing too, right? My mom watched like adult movies while we were kids, and most of the time we didn't see it. But we've definitely, like, while she wasn't home, we found a movie, put it in, and watched it, and be like, whoa, what's going on? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to be very careful with what kids have access to.
Yeah, totally.
Because you don't want to put those ideas in their heads too, like, soon.
Totally. Yeah. That's very respectable. It's cool that you've thought about that and how that's something that you wouldn't want to expose kids to.
Well, that's how a lot of these, like, stereotypes get passed down, is through media.
Yeah.
It's the only problem is that it's going to be harder to do that because like other forms of media exist. I suck at this. I'm not doing this.
You're doing your absolute best. And still sucking!
Yeah. Well, I find that that's like one of the few things I never did when playing this game because it was just so hard for me.
Yeah.
Once the visual's gone, it's just up to me. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
So you're the new Merc looking for work in Wall Market.
Mark. I thought she said Merc.
I mean, she knows where the Merc. She's Marlene. She's from the.
Yeah, but I heard MERP, like Merc.
Oh, I thought I said Merc.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that makes sense.
Quite funny indeed, though.
Pretty hilarious.
I'm the funniest,
No, I'm the funniest.
prettiest girl at the party.
Oh, come on, Darden.
Do you know that meme?
Listen to me.
Or do I sound crazy?
This is not
No.
the work of the angel.
I think I know that.
I saw it with my
It's
own
from like
the-
Skyrim.
three shady-looking types.
No, it's from Powerpuff Girls. I
Alright.
haven't seen it, but I know the meme. It's the upstairs thinking she's gonna be the prettiest girl at the party, and then it cuts away to the girl upstairs. Be the prettiest girl at the party.
She would never.
Okay.
It says it. I'll send it to you, and you'll get it. It's fine.
Find the three I saw. and
Oh,
They ran off.
it's hot.
Old expressway on
You
the
know
other
what?
side of
I don't think she's hot, but you can think that if you
No,
want.
it's hot, like humid. It's humid and warm in the place I am at.
Oh. I see. Whoops.
She is a beautiful lady.
Yeah, she's cool.
Can't believe you called her ugly.
Oh gosh.
The audacity.
I didn't call her ugly. But to tie off a point I had with the conversation from the past 2 episodes or so,
Hmm.
the whole reason that there's a lot of like differences, I guess, in the male and female ways of looking at sex is because of everything we said. And so when
Yeah.
they converse, and that's why male to female relationships can be hard, is because of all that, basically.
Hmm.
Now, it's all underlying, but it all puts into context, like how different people in the friendship would view the friendship and how it would go,
Hmm.
you know? Which is unfortunate, very unfortunate, but that's just how it goes, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, and this is sad, I guess, in a way, but like if I were a female and I were to be friends with a male, I would just always have that back behind my head of like, alright, this might get to a point of like they're gonna ask something about like going out, and I should just be prepared
Yeah.
to say, no, we're just friends.
No, yeah.
Because more often than not, if you tell them that and you make it clear to them that you just want to be friends, they're pretty much, as long as they're a sane and not terrible individual, they will be like, okay, cool.
Yeah. That's good. I think that's great. Good to know. That's good to know. It's crazy. It's such a difficult thing to learn how to communicate with people, especially if like the way you are raised goes against like what is respectable to people, and actually understanding how it is, and like reversing what you already know and being willing to accept that some of the viewpoints you have on people is like wrong or isn't true for everybody.
Yeah. And here's another thing too, right? A lot of men won't take that chance, even if it's a girl that does like them and does want them to ask them, and they try to make it clear. They won't do it because another thing media like shoves in their brain is that if you ask a woman out and they say no, it's the end of your social life. It's the end of your life in general.
Yeah.
Because they'll make a big deal about it. They'll spread a bunch of rumors. No one likes you, and you'll never get anyone until you go to a new city or anything like that. Suddenly you're this weird horny guy that only wants sex. Like,
Yeah.
it be like that, and I mean, that's why we gotta kind of try to stop that stigma. Because really, a lot of like male and female friendships could be really good if that kind of communication and trust in the other person was like there. And like,
Yeah.
because like the other thing too is that girls are almost I don't know this for sure, and I want confirmation from you. But like
Okay.
I'm sure girls are also taught like if a guy asks that from you, that's all going to be the only thing they want from you.
Yeah.
And so they are already preemptively like scared anyways to do it, especially with all the weird guys out there that are just crazy.
Yeah.
Which is fair, but also it puts a bad like idea of what the not terrible guys are like, you know?
Mhm. So you're asking if girls. What are you asking?
I'm asking if girls are taught preemptively that that all guys want sex, and so if you're friends with a guy, expect them to only want to have sex with you.
I think that yeah, I mean, from what I've heard and seen, I know in my family it was very back and forth. From like my dad, he would talk about how like whenever my brothers had female friends, how it was be impossible for them to just be friends, or there's no way that they're friends with them without like the my brothers wanting to be with the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Which he never said that about any of my friendships, but he's kind of always been awkward with me and my sisters. Like it's not his place, but it kind of leaves that reflection. My mom kind of has always had the idea of you can't have male friends because it's just not possible because you'll get feelings up until like a couple of years ago where her mind has been changed. And now like all of her friends are men. Except for obviously not all of them, but some of them. But I don't know. I think it's definitely taught to women as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
And, I mean,
go ahead.
It's gonna be hard too for society to drop that stigma, anyways, because of how the world is, and there's so many scary people. It's like you can't talk to your daughter about having male friends, and you can't just be like, oh yeah, you can be friends with anyone, and it'll be fine, you know, as long as you talk to them, because that's not gonna be the case. There's always gonna be someone out there that they're gonna end up talking to. And it's gonna be weird, and it's gonna be like, you don't want to have sex with me? Oh, well then you don't want to be friends with me. Friends do this all the time, you know? It's gonna be something.
I think it's just rather than teaching this is completely wrong or not all men want to be your friend or whatever, it's just teaching awareness that there are people out there that you're going to want to associate yourself with because of how you are as a person. If you're raising someone who, for whatever reason, they have told you that they just want to sleep around with everybody they're with, you're going to probably advise that they find people who have that same perspective as them.
Yeah.
And if it's the opposite, then you're just going to want to have to learn what people you want to be around. Not that anybody is worse or better for how they see things.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's interesting with the, like, okay, maybe I'm just, like, so, like, far associated with it, but if you're already friends with somebody, guy or girl, like, you're from the guy's or the girl's perspective, okay, why are you not close enough with them that that's something you can try? It'd be awkward, obviously, and rejection is scary. But that's something you can try and bring up eventually about wanting to date them, or if they ever saw a possibility of that. Because from my perspective, you should try, from trial and error, you should try to get closer with people before you try to pursue them romantically.
Yeah.
So why are you not close enough with somebody that you'd be willing to have those deeper conversations with? And also, what's the whole thing with people all of a sudden not wanting to be friends anymore because somebody rejected them. So like you're best friends with somebody and then they ask you out, and so since they rejected you, you don't want to be their friend anymore.
Hmm.
Like if you're not willing to just be their friend without the expectation of a relationship, you weren't really their friend to begin with.
Yeah. Well, and that can be caused by anything really.
Yeah.
Like that could be caused from something that like the rejected person goes through, something that the person who rejected them is like dealing with. Like it could be a mixture of both. It could just be that, oh well, I didn't. It could really, and it could be as simple as, well, I only wanted to be friends with you with the hope of getting with you, and if you don't want to get with me, then I don't really want to be friends with you anymore.
Yeah.
Thing, which is a little selfish, I think, but that's a also valid reason to not want to be around someone anymore.
Yeah, but why would you want? Why would you? Okay, if I want to date somebody and I want them to become closer to me in that sense, I imagine that it's somebody I already want to spend a lot of time with.
Mm.
So I can't imagine being like, oh no, since I can't have more time with you, I want to have less time with you.
Well, because it would just hurt, really. That's it. It would just hurt being around them and be like, you can't get any closer with them than they want. You know, assuming that you respect them. And you
Yeah.
want to just, and that's what you want to do is you want to get closer to them, right?
Yeah.
And you can't do that if you guys are just going to be friends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so just that whole idea could hurt, and so you just decide you're better off without any of it. I freaking hate this. I've died 5 times because I get stunned for a minute and they all just pound on me like a bunch of dudes in an orgy. And I can't do anything about it because they all suck. They put down these electrical traps that I can't avoid because they're gonna just surround me and I can't go anywhere else. I can't.
Yeah. No, there seemed to be a pain in the butt from what okay. Well, that might be a good time to end this episode anyway.
That's good.
I guess. Well, it's nice talking with you guys about all the fun sex.
It is inappropriate.
My bad.
It's
Oh,
called
Mr. Apologies.
intercourse.
Intercourse, the big woohoo.
Woohoo! That's what I make every time I come.
Mario!
Wee! Yippee! Alright, bye.